And there they were, two petite, slender, beautiful, disgusting things. And I touched them on purpose. Do you have a servant's heart? Do you put your spouse's needs before your own consistently? How many times have you seen your spouse in need, but maybe you just didn't have the time to do it? Or maybe you just didn't like the task to be done. Maybe you saw her in need and kind of slipped by slowly and quietly so she didn't notice you were there and wouldn't ask you to help. Maybe you thought the task was below you. I mean, you're better than that, right? Are you? Last night, my wife and I did something that some people would consider gross. I'm some people. You see, after the day was done, kids were in bed, I went to the kitchen and I got a bowl. Filled that bowl with some warm water, and I went to the bathroom and got a wash rag and a hand towel. I put the wash rag in the bowl, and I went to sit down in front of my wife on the floor. I put the bowl beside me and proceeded to take off my wife's socks. And there they were, two petite, slender, beautiful, disgusting things. And I touched them on purpose. I got her left foot and grabbed the wash rag out of the bowl, wrung out the water, and started to wipe down her foot. Once I was satisfied with it, I put the wash rag in the bowl to rinse it out, got the rag up again, wrung it out, and continued to wash that same foot. That cycle continued until I thought her foot was clean enough. Then I grabbed her other foot, put the rag in the bowl, rinse it off, wring it out, wipe her foot. Bowl, rinse, wring, foot. Once I was done, I put the wash rag in the bowl and I grabbed the hand towel and started to dry her feet. I washed my wife's feet last night. Now, it was purely a symbolic gesture. That task doesn't really serve as dire a need today as it did back in the times of Christ. But the message can still be the same or similar. You see, feet were pretty nasty things back then. Think about it. They didn't have shoes like we know what shoes are. They had sandals. I would assume if you're lucky enough to have a decent pair of sandals. But even so, your foot was out there exposed to the elements. The sun, dust, dirt, rain, water, anything that's on the road. And I believe for the most part there were donkeys and mules and camels and all that kind of stuff on the road. So you can imagine what else might be lying on that road ready for you to step in by accident in open-toed shoes or sandals. Feet weren't really clean. They were nasty. Luckily today, we don't have that problem. Of course, we still sweat, but they're not as nasty as they were. But if you ask me, they're still nasty enough. You see, I'm not above my wife. I don't think I am. I don't strive to be above my wife. Ephesians 5:25 says to love your wives as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her. It goes further. In verse 28 it says, in the same way, husbands should love their wives as their own bodies. He who loves his wife loves himself. For no one ever hated his own flesh, but nourishes and cherishes it, just as Christ does the church, because we're members of his body. Therefore, A man shall leave his father and mother and hold fast to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. This mystery is profound, and I'm saying that it refers to Christ and the church. However, let each one of you love his wife as himself, and let the wife see that she respects her husband. Wait. I'm supposed to love my wife not only as myself, but as Christ loved the church? But he died for that. Yeah, he did. And we're called to have the same commitment to our wives as we do to God and as Christ did for us. So back to the table. Christ became the least in that moment. He showed humility, servanthood. He stopped what he was doing to meet not just a need, but to meet a disgusting need for all of his disciples. He didn't let his pride get in the way, not his dignity, not his stature, not his own cleanliness. He sacrificed it all to serve the others. Now, after he was done doing this, John 13:12, it says, Christ is speaking to the disciples. He said, do you understand what I've done to you? You call me teacher and Lord, and you're right, for so I am. If I then, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you also ought to wash the feet of one another. For I've given you an example that you should do just as I have done to you. Truly, truly, I say to you, a servant is not greater than his master, nor a messenger greater than the one who sent the message. If you know these things, blessed are you if you do them. Jesus was saying, in spite of who I am, in spite of what I can do, all the miracles, and all the things that you don't even know about, you can't even imagine, in spite of all those, I'm here for a better purpose. I'm not here to excel in earthly desires. I'm not here to physically conquer kingdoms with a sword in my right hand. I mean, that's kind of what they were looking for back then. But he's saying, look, that's not it. That's not my kingdom. I'm here to love and serve one another, no matter what the deed or who the deed is for. This is what I want, not just for me, but for you also, and for the people whose lives will be impacted by you. This is how he wants us to love others. This is how he wants us to love our spouse. So look around and see what your spouse needs. Have an open-hearted conversation about where you can meet her where she is, how you can provide for her what she needs, where she's at right now. And when you do serve him, look into your heart and make sure you're doing it with the right intentions. Ask yourself, am I just washing clothes, or am I washing feet?